2 to 3, we got it warned. So we can call this meeting of the IDA to order. And first thing on our, the draft minutes for March 11th, 2025. And I'm going to need a motion and a second. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now, we have the administrative director's report.
Good morning. Today we,
Yeah.
And Mike?
good morning.
Yeah, let me just, it's working on this end. If this is frozen.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me now?
The only way to fix it is the left hand of the
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Mike.
Oh, great. This morning we have a presentation in connection with the 178 Healy Boulevard project. I'm out of town, as you know. There are other projects on the agenda, but there's no specific updates related to those projects at this time.
Right, so the only thing we have, Mike, did you want to just go over the Healy Boulevard application?
Yes, we received an application for the Healy Boulevard apartment project in Greenport. As you know, that project had been initiated by Redburn in 2021. Then the pandemic hit, and Redburn also moved on from that project, and we're very pleased to hear that a group that's partnership between Baxter Development and Kempner Development are now pursuing the project. And I know there are representatives from the developer at the meeting and online. And I know they have a brief presentation for you. And in connection with the project, I have spoken with the supervisor in the town of Greenport, Kathy Eldridge. And she is very excited about the prospect of a project and looking for more details as it moves forward. So if you'd like, if they could, the representatives from the developer could introduce themselves and make their presentation, we could get started.
Yeah, and Lauren and Eric, if you guys want to introduce yourself first, and then I can pull my screen up to share the presentation.
Sure. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm representing Baxter in this development. And we're excited to share with you what we have planned and discuss it further. I know the screen isn't working. Hopefully we can get that going, but Eric is also on. Eric, if you want to say hi.
Yeah, thanks everyone for meeting this morning. I'm Eric Baxter with Baxter Development. And yeah, we're happy to present a new project to the mix.
And I'm Natalie Quinn. Can everyone hear me?
We also have joining us Robert Kempner, should be here any moment.
Oh, great.
Comes after introductions. That's reasonable.
Okay. So I'm Natalie Quinn. I work with KRC Planning Consultants, and I'm working with the Kempners and Baxter to bring this application to the IDA. I am sharing my screen. I have a little quick slide deck that I can click through. Mike, you should be seeing it, but I don't know if the board is able to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's popped up.
You're all good?
Yes.
Okay,
Go ahead.
perfect. Great. So, all right, so we'll just start with a quick project summary overview, and then we'll kind of go through some of the regional policies that we're responding to, as well as the site plan and some initial elevations. So Overall, the project is a newly constructed, what's being proposed is a newly constructed residential development that will include 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartments. And these are going to be in 8 separate buildings that are kind of clustered together to create a cohesive apartment living environment, but are clustered together on a 19-acre site to preserve some really ecologically sensitive and important green space on the site. So in total, 154 new apartments, 20% of the apartments are being proposed to be affordable for workforce households. 275 parking spaces, so approximately 1.75 spaces per unit. And like I said, a majority of the site, or a significant portion of the site, is being retained as kind of green open space. And then we'll get into all of this in more detail as we click through, but total project costs is 52.6 million. And when we get through walking through kind of the tax benefit from the land as it exists now versus the proposed project, we're showing just over 3 million increased tax benefit to the town of Greenport over the initial 16 years. So again, responding to kind of the local demand, I'm sure you guys hear about this all the time. This isn't going to be anything new. The need for housing in Greenport, in Columbia County, and then just in Hudson Valley in general. So, this does tie directly into the town's comprehensive plan that kind of identifies a future that is going to be bringing more apartments and multifamily housing and mixed-use developments to the area to meet this need for housing. It's also responding to kind of regional pressures, in terms of, aging housing stock that is kind of leading to, poor quality living environments and the need for new housing, a lack of inventory in terms of just like the tight rental market that is out there in terms of what's available each month for rental. And then also that's impacted obviously by the smaller household size. And so we're looking at 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units to kind of meet those, those professional couples, small family housing needs. And that was just, those numbers are for Greenport, but here I'm just kind of showing where the site is. So we're calling it 178 Healy Boulevard. It's 178 Healy Boulevard is the Napa Auto business that's right next door. So it's a large parcel right next to it, kind of showing it here just outside City of Hudson boundary. And then here is the site plan kind of zoomed out. So as you're seeing, there's kind of 8 structures, 2-story structures that are clustered with the parking towards the front property line of the project, with kind of the rear eastern portion being preserved for wetlands and open space on the other side of that wetland. Just jumping in a little bit closer, kind of zooming in. So 7 of the buildings are very similar in terms of each one of them will hold 20 units. And then there is one building with 14 units on the back side of the property. And then just some initial elevations. So it's a mix. The units are going to be a mixture between kind of townhouses and garden style apartments. So townhouses with kind of one entry, and that unit will have space on the first floor and the second floor. And then some of the buildings are more garden style, where it's, one flat on the first floor and a separate flat on the second floor. More east side elevations. Floor plans, I know this is small and the text is small, but I think what we wanted to identify is these are nice size, kind of spacious units in terms of the floor plan. So we are trying to create kind of a quality living environment within these buildings and these units that could meet the needs of small families as well as kind of professionals, young professionals. And then obviously, in addition to kind of the benefit that's being proposed from the project and just adding to the much needed housing stock in the area, there is the job creation component. So we're estimating up to 170 construction jobs for the 3 consecutive years of construction. Obviously looking at local and regional contractors and subcontractors to assist with the construction of the project. There will be 4 permanent jobs with salaries ranging from 50 to 80K. And those jobs are for property manager, maintenance, assistant maintenance, and then a part-time kind of leasing property manager position as well. And then obviously all of this will be done with focusing on local hiring, especially for those permanent positions that will be managing the facility. And then just real quick on the financing, so as noted at the top, just over $50 million project. Approximately 34 million or 65% of this will be coming from private sector financing, with the other 18.4 million from equity investment from the applicant. And then this is last slide. So this is the request. So requesting kind of the 15-year or pilot estimated over 16 years. Taxes, and this is kind of gets into that point that I said at the beginning of the slide deck. So taxes with the proposed development and pilot are just under 3.5 million, and taxes without the development with the land as it is now, 327,000. So that's where we're kind of showing that increased benefit over these first 16 years of 3.1 million. The requested benefits that we are requesting from the IDA for sales tax is 2,376,000. The mortgage recording tax is 427,500, and then benefit in real property taxes just under 6 million. So that's, a quick overview. I'll let Eric or Lauren, if I missed anything in terms of project. But I think we really just wanted to introduce the project to the IDA for those of you who maybe weren't here in the former iteration when it came back through as Redburn, and answer any questions that the board may have.
No, nothing additional. I think you covered mostly everything, Natalie. Thank you.
So is anybody, I'm sorry, did you have some more in your presentation?
No, I didn't have anything to add. Thank you, Natalie. Happy to answer questions.
All right, does anybody here have any questions, or Mike?
What was the total number of units?
154.
154. It's similar to the project at Redburn, similar as far as the total units that Redburn had proposed, and that was.
Well, I thought they were like 120.
Well, when it first started before COVID, then it.
More.
It was
It's
closer,
more-
closer to 150, but there was one single building was, and this,
Right.
this provides much more ability for absorption and, I know one of the things that we may not have discussed was the IDA relies on the town for its seeker as lead agency. So, as we move forward here, the IDA approvals, are subject to the town planning board's negative declaration, which I know you've been talking with the planning board director. I know that we do have to meet with town with respect, and the school district and the county with respect to the pilot. We certainly will need you to do an appraisal where we would select the appraiser. It would be at your cost, as with most IDAs. And it would involve you providing directly to the appraiser the construction budget and a pro forma, and to be able to identify a base assessment. We also would then be able to move forward. I would recommend, Mr. Chairman, that a public hearing resolution be authorized today, and authorizing CEDC as your administrative support organization to hold a public hearing as based on the process moving forward, and also authorizing CEDC to retain an appraiser and potentially a economic impact consultant. We may be able to do that in-house with Jessica Gabriel, but we also would want that approval so that we wouldn't have to wait till the next meeting to come back to you. So there are really three things. One, authorizing CEDC to hold a public hearing at the appropriate time. Also, but if you want to take that resolution, and then the other two, authorizing us to retain the consultants and the appraiser.
What have you done, Andy?
Yeah, so we have a resolution for the board's consideration, which would be authorizing the holding of a public hearing at the discretion of the agency, as Mike said. We want to have this resolution in place so that Mike can proceed and the CDC can proceed when the time is right, without having to bring you back. So that's really the purpose for this particular resolution, identifying the project and again, authorizing a public hearing at the agency's discretion.
I have some questions first. I'd like to know, the size of the apartments.
Yes. I think we have an average unit size over 1,000 square feet. I'm gonna say the average one bedroom maybe in the 800 range, and we can come back with the firmed up number.
Okay.
And then the twos and the threes go up from there.
And what about washer dryers? Would they be in the units?
We typically put washer and dryer in every unit.
And what is your definition of affordable? I know there's so many interpretations of that. Maybe, I don't know. Chris can.
So we don't have that firmed up right now. Our underwriting does show 100% AMI.
To clarify, that's just for those 20% units
Yes.
at the
Yeah.
100% AMI. Yeah.
The 20%,
Yeah.
some proportion. I kind of want to know what that's based on.
Sure, the 100% of AMI.
Okay.
And then even our market rate units, we don't have them based off of an AMI, but they're still below 120% AMI, what we're modeling them at. And we think that that's market for this area. And obviously we would need the pilot to be able to hit those market rents.
And the understood about the tariffs, how's that going to affect your construction costs or?
So we've been keeping close tabs on that right now, and Eric, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that's unknown right now. We've been seeing reports that they could affect costs anywhere between 1% to 3%. So not, obviously there is an impact, but it's not so drastic where it makes these things unfeasible. But I think that's really yet to be determined once everything's in place and we see how everything shakes out. And where we are in the process of this, we don't think this likely won't start until 2026. So probably 10 to 12 months from now. So a lot can change, as we all know, from now to then.
Okay, thanks.
Are these
Yeah,
gonna
no
be
problem.
typical wood construction, or are you gonna have metal framing? Or aluminum framing? Wood
All
construction.
wood.
All wood. So basically what, the resolution is just giving us the authorization, or giving Mike the authorization to do a public hearing down the road when we need it. So there'll be no, because there's few things that have to be ironed out. So that's pretty much where we are. Mike, is there anything else you have or any?
I think, the next is to, as you know, the Authority Budget Office requires that the agency do an economic evaluation. Certainly the need for housing is critical to Columbia County. And this is a very reputable team. And I think, we do have to have discussions with the town. The Redburn project had more definitive affordability standards. And we have to, engage in a discussion with the town about the terms of the pilot. And we've had some initial discussions with the developer in that regard.
So we would approve it after the public hearing? Is that how?
Well,
When do we?
The thought, Sarah, would be to present to the public at the public hearing what is in the application, what's being requested. And then get the input not only from the residents, businesses, and the municipalities. Obviously, this would, under any circumstances, will be a deviation from the agency's uniform pilot policy. The result of which is that we're required by law to provide written notice to the 3 taxing jurisdictions and to hold the public hearing. So that you will be informed in your decision-making with respect to the ultimate approval of the project by your own evaluation and by the input from the appraiser and economic assessment, and then also any comments that are received from the public or the taxing jurisdictions at the public hearing. And then you would make a vote for the project, you would consider the approval for the project.
What we're gonna do today is the application's in there and we're gonna have a vote, accept the application. And then we'll do they actually gotta do a vote on the resolution. We'll do them both. And then we're all set as far as we iron out all the details. Then we'd be able to go on it.
So this isn't setting a public hearing
Right.
specifically for a date, it's just an authorized.
Okay,
So, without further ado, if there's no other questions. First, what we do is, I need a motion and a second, accept the application, the Hilly Boulevard project.
I'll make a motion.
Also.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And then next, we're gonna need a motion and a second to accept the public hearing resolution as you have in front of you. Need a motion and a second. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All set.
And then we'll also want a resolution authorizing the retention of an economic expert and also an appraiser.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Motion.
motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, we're all set.
It's a very exciting project, and I know the town has been was disappointed with the earlier iteration of the project. Obviously, COVID got in the middle of that initiative, and we're very excited that this is going forward and look forward to working with the developer.
Great. We look forward to working with you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your input. So Mike, there's no, I know you're in a rush, in a hurry. So unless you had anything for your director's report, we could dispense with
No,
it.
I think that's really all that we have that's time sensitive. I know the treasurer's report is there. There's no significant change other than the we have received the bills for the audit, and we're going to have CEDC authorize a $5,000 grant to assist the agency with its operating expense at the May meeting of CEDC at the end of the month.
Okay. Is there any public comment at this time? None? Anybody on? Anybody else have any questions?
Where exactly is this located on Hilly Boulevard?
You know where the,
Funeral home?
well, you know where the road where you drive up to the funeral home?
Town hall, yeah, whatever.
Town Hall Drive,
Yeah.
right along there,
Okay,
between there and the Napa store.
okay.
There's that big.
You've got the maybe storage center on the corner, and then the Napa store, and then this will be back on 18 acres behind it.
Yeah,
It's in what there is.
just real, well, Helen wasn't here, quick, about 5 years now, 5 years ago.
Okay.
21, yeah, 4 years ago.
4,
Yeah.
or no, it was just, well, just as COVID was hitting.
Right.
They had a proposal to do a project up there, and then the COVID hit, and then there was some other snafus with the town of Greenport, so, but it just basically lingered on, and then Baxter's picked it up now, and it looks like actually, to me, already, looks like a much better project with 8 units rather than one big huge unit, so.
And
Yeah.
perhaps you could comment on the fact that Kempner has a project in Greenport already.
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I came a little bit late. Good morning. I'm
Morning.
Rob Kempner. I'm a partner of the Baxter.
Okay.
Yeah.
We own the garden style. It's called, we rebranded it a little bit to Hudson Gardens. It's on Route 66. It's a 24 unit.
Yep.
Older build.
So it's right next door there, right?
It's adjacent to this one.
And the other, I think, important point is that Baxter's construction arm is building the project, the Depot District project behind our office building. So
Right,
both developers have already engaged in the community in terms of their business activities. And I think, that's an added benefit to this project as well.
Yeah, I think all that was discussed was maybe some access for emergency vehicles.
We talked about that possibly being another means of egress. We'd have to work out the wetlands a bit, but that would be the only way that I think it would be incorporated into this larger proposed development.
And I think the other point is that because this project's going to be 8 units, we have to work with our special IDA council and Andy to determine how we phase it so that in terms of the timeline that they'll need to, from the point they start the first building till their estimated completion of the last building. It's not as if they're building a single building that will be completed at this contemporaneously. So, those types of projects have been done before across the state at IDAs. And as you know, this IDA's has done a solar project and a hotel project in the last 10 years. So we will be engaging special counsel as part of this process.
nothing else, we'll adjourn.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.